Do you ever find yourself looking at the calendar and wondering how much time is truly left on the clock? Once you cross the milestone of 70, every single year begins to feel more precious, like a rare gift you want to hold onto with both hands. But here is the truth that many people miss: your body isn't a mystery waiting to unfold, it is already whispering its secrets to you. Right now, in the way you move, the way you sleep, and even the way you interact with the world, your body is giving you subtle but powerful signals about how long you may live. Imagine two people, both 75 years old. One of them feels strong, sharp, and wake up every morning with a sense of purpose and energy. The other has started to slow down, feeling a heavy sense of fatigue and watching their world shrink as health problems begin to pile up. What is the real difference between them? It isn't just luck or even great genes. The difference is often found in a few key indicators, hidden signs that serve as a longevity code. These are not mere guesses or old wives' tales, they are based on real, observable patterns that researchers and doctors have seen in those who successfully cross into their 80s, 90s, and beyond with their vitality intact. The reality is that many of us overlook the small things that have a massive impact on our future. We dismiss a slower walking pace as just getting older or a weakening grip as a natural part of life. But when you learn to recognize these signs, you gain a clear idea of exactly where you stand. Most importantly, you discover what changes you can make today to add vibrant, healthy years to your life. Your future isn't set in stone, and the code to your longevity is waiting to be cracked. Now, let's dive into the first sign that reveals how well you are truly moving through the journey of life. One of the most profound indicators of how long you might live after 70 isn't found in a complicated medical record or expensive lab test, it is something far simpler: your walking speed. You might not realize it, but the pace at which you move through the world is a master metric, a direct reflection of your cardiovascular function, muscle strength, and even your brain health. Think about two friends, Joe and Frank, both 75 years old. Joe makes it a point to walk every morning. When he crosses the street or climbs a flight of stairs, his movements are fluid, balanced, and confident. His steady, brisk pace is a signal that his heart is pumping efficiently and his nervous system is firing on all cylinders. Frank, on the other hand, used to be just as active, but lately, he has slowed down significantly. He finds himself struggling to keep up with others during a simple stroll, taking frequent breaks, and sometimes feeling a bit unsteady on his feet. While Frank might dismiss this as just a natural part of getting older, his declining speed is actually a warning sign that his physical resilience is beginning to wane. A slow, unsteady walk isn't just about tired legs, it can signal underlying issues like poor circulation or even early neurological decline. Your legs are your foundation, and when that foundation starts to weaken, your overall health often follows. The good news is that your walking speed is not a fixed number, it is something you can actively improve. If you've noticed yourself slowing down, don't ignore the signal your body is sending you. By making small, consistent efforts to build strength, whether through daily walks, light weights, or simple leg exercises, you are doing more than just moving faster. You are training your heart to be more resilient and your mind to stay sharper. In the end, how fast you move through life can tell you a great deal about how long you'll keep moving at all. Pay close attention to your pace, because it might just be the simplest and most effective way to check in on your longevity today. Believe it or not, the strength of your handshake might be revealing more about your future than you think. While we often view our hands as simple tools for navigating the day, they are actually powerful messengers of our internal health. A firm, steady grip is often a sign of robust muscle mass, healthy circulation, and a nervous system that is still firing with precision. Conversely, a grip that begins to falter can be one of the earliest whispers of muscle loss and a decline in the body's overall resilience. Think of Robert and Walter, two men navigating their late 70s. Robert remains a man of action. He enjoys light weightlifting and thinks nothing of twisting open a tight jar or carrying his own bags from the car. His hands are strong because his body remains engaged. Then there is Walter, who has started to notice that the simple act of holding a heavy bag or opening a bottle has become a frustrating chore. He tells himself it's just the toll of the years, but that weakening grip is a signal that his foundation is thinning, making him more vulnerable to the very falls and injuries he hopes to avoid. The state of your hands is a reflection of your body's total muscle health. When that strength begins to slip, it becomes harder to stay independent and active. But the beauty of the human body is its ability to respond to care. You can reclaim that strength through simple, daily habits. Squeezing a tennis ball while you watch the news, using a hand gripper, or even carrying light weights during your morning walk can make a world of difference. I encourage you to test your grip today. If you feel a change, don't meet it with fear, meet it with action. How firmly you can hold on to the world around you today is a direct predictor of how well you will hold on to your quality of life in the chapters to come. By strengthening your hands, you are quite literally taking a firmer hold on your future. Balance is something most of us never think about until we feel the world begin to slip beneath our feet. We take for granted the complex dance between our brain, our muscles, and our inner ear until we find ourselves reaching for a wall or a piece of furniture just to stay steady. However, your ability to stand on one leg for at least 10 seconds is actually one of the most powerful predictors of how long and how well you will live. This simple act isn't just a physical trick, it is a profound test of your coordination, your core strength, and the sharpness of your nervous system. Imagine two women, Carol and Nancy, both in their early 70s. Carol has always made movement a priority. She walks daily, practices yoga, and can lift one foot off the ground for several seconds without a single wobble. Her stability is a sign that her brain and body are communicating with lightning speed. Nancy, on the other hand, hasn't paid much attention to her balance over the years. When she tries to stand on one leg, she immediately begins to tip, needing to grab onto a chair to steady herself. What Nancy might not realize is that this loss of balance isn't just an inconvenience, it is a warning sign that her coordination and brain function may be starting to decline. Good balance relies on a sharp nervous system and a healthy brain. If you find yourself stumbling more often, feeling unsteady when turning quickly, or needing to hold onto walls for support, it is time to take action. The best part is that balance is a skill that can be reclaimed and improved. Simple daily habits, like standing on one foot while you brush your teeth, walking heel to toe across a room, or practicing light Tai Chi, can help you rebuild that vital stability. I want you to try this test right now. Stand up and lift one foot off the ground. Can you hold it for 10 seconds without struggling? If you can't, do not panic, but do not ignore it either. The more you work on your balance today, the stronger and steadier you will be for the years ahead. By strengthening your stability, you are ensuring that you stay active, independent, and upright, holding onto your quality of life for as long as possible. How well you rest your head at night speaks volumes about the energy you will bring to your days and the strength you will maintain over the coming years. For those who have crossed the milestone of 70, sleep is far more than just a period of inactivity, it is a vital window of time when your body performs its most critical maintenance. It is during these quiet hours that your body repairs damaged tissues, strengthens your immune system, and performs a deep cleaning of the brain, flushing out toxins that accumulate throughout the day. High-quality sleep is a non-negotiable pillar of longevity, serving as the foundation upon which your biological resilience is built. Consider the lives of two men, Henry and Bill, both in their mid-70s. Henry treats his bedtime with the same respect he gives a doctor's appointment. He follows a steady routine, gets around 7 hours of deep rest, and wakes up feeling refreshed and ready to engage with the world. Because of this midnight restoration, his mind remains sharp, and his energy levels stay consistent from dawn until dusk. Bill, however, experiences a very different reality. His nights are often restless, filled with tossing and turning or waking up multiple times to stare at the ceiling. Over time, this lack of restorative rest begins to take a visible toll, manifesting as persistent brain fog, daytime fatigue, and even fluctuations in his blood pressure, all of which are linked to declining sleep quality. If you find yourself waking up exhausted or struggling to stay asleep, it is important not to brush it off as a natural part of growing older. Your body is sending you a message. Poor sleep can be tied to many factors, from hidden stress to a lack of physical activity or even underlying health conditions like sleep apnea. The good news is that your sleep quality can often be reclaimed with small, intentional adjustments. By sticking to a consistent routine, seeking out natural sunlight in the morning, and reducing screen time before bed, you can invite the deep, healing rest your body requires. Remember, how well you rest today determines how strong you will stand tomorrow. Prioritizing your sleep is one of the most powerful acts of self-care you can perform to ensure your mind and body stay at their peak for years to come. The way you approach your meals after 70 is one of the clearest windows into the internal strength of your body. A healthy appetite is far more than just a sign of a good meal, it is a signal of a body that is actively seeking the fuel it needs to stay resilient, keep the immune system strong, and maintain energy levels from morning until night. On the other hand, a sudden loss of interest in food or a shift in eating habits can be a subtle but serious red flag, suggesting that your metabolism may be slowing down or that your body is no longer absorbing the nutrients it needs to thrive. Think of two women, Margaret and Susan, both 74 years old. Margaret still looks forward to her meals, she enjoys a variety of fresh, whole foods and takes pride in preparing her own dinner. Because she maintains a balanced diet rich in protein and fiber, she keeps a steady weight and feels energized throughout the day. Susan, however, has noticed a quiet change. She just isn't as hungry as she used to be. She often skips lunch or relies on processed snacks because they are easier, and she has unintentionally lost weight over the last year. What Susan doesn't realize is that her shrinking appetite is a warning signal. When the body doesn't get enough fuel, it begins to break down its own muscle mass for energy, leading to the very weakness and frailty that can make independent living a challenge. If you have noticed that you feel full much quicker than you used to, or if you find yourself losing interest in foods you once loved, it is time to pay close attention. A decreased appetite in your later years is often linked to underlying health concerns, including digestive changes or even early shifts in cognitive health. However, you can reclaim your hunger for life by focusing on quality over quantity. Small, nutrient-dense meals packed with protein, healthy fats, and proper hydration can help wake up your metabolism and protect your muscle health. Ask yourself today, are you still enjoying the fuel that keeps you strong? By prioritizing what you put on your plate, you are making a direct investment in your ability to stay active, independent, and vibrant for the years ahead. How you handle the storms of life after 70 can tell you a lot about how many calm waters lie ahead. Stress is often thought of as something that exists only in the mind, but in reality, it is a physical force that travels through your entire body. Chronic stress doesn't just affect your mood, it acts as a silent accelerator of aging by triggering long-term inflammation. This internal state has been linked to nearly every major age-related concern, from heart conditions to the fading of memory. People who learn to manage stress effectively tend to stay healthier, more active, and mentally sharp well into their later years because they are protecting their bodies from this internal wear and tear. Consider John and Richard, both 76 years old. John faces the same challenges we all do: family worries, health scares, and unexpected expenses, but he has learned to approach them with a steady hand. He practices deep breathing, stays socially engaged, and refuses to dwell on problems longer than necessary. His body responds to this calm factor by keeping his blood pressure steady and his immune system resilient. Richard, however, struggles to let go. He constantly worries about things beyond his control and finds himself trapped in negative thought patterns. This constant state of tension triggers a cycle of inflammation in his body, draining his energy and wearing down his resilience over time. If you find yourself often feeling tense, irritable, or emotionally drained, it is important to recognize that your body is signaling for help. Long-term stress is more than just a heavy burden, it is a threat to your longevity. The good news is that you have the power to turn down the heat. Finding ways to manage stress, whether through mindfulness, gentle exercise, deep breathing, or even the simple medicine of laughter, can add quality years to your life. When a challenge arises, ask yourself if you are holding on to the worry or moving forward with a solution. Your ability to stay calm and focus on what you can control is not just good for your peace of mind, it is a vital key to how long and how well you will live. Staying steady in the face of life's changes is one of the most significant investments you can make in your future. Beyond the physical strength of your legs or the firmness of your grip, there is a hidden force that powers your longevity, the strength of your connections with others. We often think of socializing as a leisure activity, but for those over 70, it is a biological necessity. Humans are social creatures by design. We are like batteries that require the energy of others to stay fully charged. Strong social ties are one of the clearest indicators of how long you will live, while loneliness has been linked to significantly higher risks of heart disease, depression, and cognitive decline. Consider Eleanor and Barbara, both 78 years old. Eleanor has an active social life. She stays in touch with old friends, participates in a local book club, and cherishes time spent with her family. When she interacts with others, her brain stays engaged, her stress levels drop, and her body releases chemicals that promote an overall sense of well-being. She looks forward to her daily conversations and feels a deep, grounding sense of belonging. Barbara, however, spends most of her time alone. Over the years, she has lost touch with her friends and rarely reaches out to her family. As the months pass, her isolation begins to take a visible toll. Her mood declines, and her overall physical health starts to suffer as the lack of human connection leaves her battery drained and her resilience weakened. Human connection is more than just emotional support, it plays a direct role in your physical survival. When you withdraw from the world, you aren't just losing out on social fun, you are losing a vital shield against the stresses that accelerate aging. If you have found yourself spending more time alone than you used to, it is time to flip the switch and reconnect. Staying connected doesn't mean you need to be the life of every party. It can be as simple as making a meaningful phone call, joining a group with shared interests, or making it a habit to have a short conversation with a neighbor. These small efforts ensure that you stay mentally sharp and physically resilient. Your relationships today don't just bring happiness, they are a key ingredient in ensuring you stay healthier and live longer in the years to come. By nurturing your social ties, you are keeping your internal battery charged for all the adventures that still lie ahead. Now that you have walked through these 7 signs, you find yourself at a critical crossroads. For some, looking honestly at these indicators might feel a bit unsettling, like seeing a weather report that predicts a storm on the horizon. But the most important thing to remember is that these signs are not a final verdict, they are a roadmap. They are your body's way of giving you the intelligence you need to change your future. This is the moment of the pivot, the point where you stop being a passive observer of the aging process and start becoming the active architect of your own longevity. Recognizing where you stand is the first step toward building what we call a Thrive Plan. A Thrive Plan isn't about overhaul or impossible lifestyle changes, it is about the power of small, intentional choices. If you noticed your walking pace has slowed, your plan begins with an extra 10 minutes of movement each morning. If your grip has weakened, it involves a few minutes of hand exercises while you have your morning coffee. If your nights are restless, it means setting a steady bedtime and turning off the screens an hour early. These aren't just chores, they are investments in your independence. Think back to the characters we've met, the Joes, the Henrys, and the Eleanors. They weren't born with a special shield against time. They simply chose, day after day, to listen to their bodies and respond with action. They transformed their warning signs into strengthening opportunities. You have that same power. Your future isn't a mystery that happens to you, it is a story that you are writing with every meal you enjoy, every friend you call, and every steady step you take. Don't wait for a doctor to tell you that it's time to make a change. Start now, while the signals are clear and the path is open. By converting these 7 signs into a personalized plan for growth, you are doing more than just trying to live longer, you are ensuring that you live better. You are choosing to be the person who stays sharp, remains strong, and continues to engage with the world on your own terms. The pivot to action starts today, and the rewards will be felt in every vibrant year that lies ahead. As you reach the end of this journey through the 7 signs, it is time to embrace a powerful new perspective. Longevity is not merely a game of numbers. It is not just about how many candles are on your next birthday cake, but about the light those candles cast on the world around you. This final sign is the realization that your future is not something that simply happens to you, it is something you create. By choosing to pay attention to your body's signals today, you are making the choice to rewrite the story of your tomorrow. True empowerment comes from the understanding that your choices have weight. When you prioritize a brisk walk, a firm grip, a steady balance, or a meaningful conversation, you are choosing a life of independence over a life of limitation. You are deciding that your later years will be defined by what you can do, rather than what you have lost. This is the shift from counting days to making the days count. It is about ensuring that the quality of your life remains as vibrant and rich as the quantity of years you are blessed to experience. Think back to the two paths we have explored, the path of decline and the path of vitality. The difference between them isn't found in a magic pill or a secret fountain of youth, it is found in the daily habits of people who refuse to let the world shrink around them. They are the ones who stay socially connected, who fuel their bodies with intention, and who manage their stress with a sense of grace. They understand that while we cannot stop the clock, we can certainly choose how we spend the time it gives us. Your future is waiting for you to take the lead. Don't wait for the years to pass before you decide to live them fully. Start now by listening to your body, trusting your resilience, and taking those small, steady steps toward a stronger version of yourself. The goal has never been just to live longer, it has always been to live better. By embracing these 7 signs as your guide, you aren't just predicting your future, you are actively and beautifully rewriting it. Thank you for joining us on this journey, and here is to many more years of strength, connection, and joy.